If you need help with practicing your writing skills, check out these workbooks that can be useful in improving your academic writing skills. The link is in the description below. It is important to learn how to use punctuation correctly. In this video, let's learn how to use a semicolon in a sentence. Most of the time, you will use a semicolon between two closely related, independent clauses in place of a coordinating conjunction. Let's see what that means. Here are a few coordinating conjunctions that you might use in a sentence: and, but, or, for, nor, so, and yet. The new product is expensive, so not many people can afford to buy it. This sentence has two closely related, independent clauses. Each of these could make a sentence by itself. The new product is expensive. Not many people can afford to buy it. They are connected with a coordinating conjunction, the word so. We can put a semicolon into this sentence in this way. The new product is expensive. Not many people can afford to buy it. We have replaced the comma and the word so with a semicolon. This is one of the most common ways that a semicolon is used in a sentence. Sometimes the two clauses are not closely related, so we need to add something. In this example, the two clauses are not as closely related as in our last example. The party was mostly a success, but there were some who were not pleased. The first part of the sentence is a positive idea, whereas the second part is a negative idea. So if we try to put a semicolon in place of the word but, the sentence is not quite as clear. The party was mostly a success. There were some who were not pleased. This sentence is not as clear written with just the semicolon. And we can fix this by adding the word however into the sentence and make it better. The party was mostly a success. However, there were some who were not pleased. By adding the word however after the semicolon, we can connect these two ideas into one good sentence. A second way to use a semicolon is between independent clauses linked with a transitional expression. Here are a few transitional expressions. You can see the word however at the beginning of this list, which we used in our last sentence. Here's an example sentence. Most companies take several years to become profitable. Consequently, having enough capital to continue is vital. Here we have used the word consequently to connect our two independent clauses. Here are a few more that can be used in the same way. These transitional expressions have more than one word. They are short phrases. Most companies take several years to become profitable. Microsoft, on the other hand, gained momentum rather quickly. Notice that after the word consequently, we need to put a comma. And the phrase, on the other hand, because we have added the word Microsoft at the beginning, we need to include a comma on both sides of the phrase, on the other hand. One more way that a semicolon can be used is between items in a series with internal punctuation. This would be an example. The biggest promoters of the project are Company A with 3D printing abilities, Company B with access to global connections, and Company C with expertise in manufacturing. After the first item in the list, Company A, there is a comma followed by a few more words to explain Company A and then a semicolon. Then there is another comma after the words Company B, followed by some more information and then another semicolon. And finally, another comma after the words company C before finishing the sentence. Now let's talk about some ways that you should not use a semicolon. There are some common ways that the semicolon is misused or not used correctly. The first way is between a subordinate clause and the rest of the sentence. Unless the company changes its policies, the results will be disastrous. The first part of this sentence, before the semicolon, is a subordinate clause. It is not a complete sentence by itself. Unless the company changes its policies, is not a complete sentence, so we cannot use a semicolon here. A comma is what is needed for this sentence. Another mistake is to use the semicolon between an appositive and the word it refers to. For example, in this sentence, another issue is the company's greatest disadvantage, a lack of equipment and the resources to produce enough products. Again, here we should use a comma, not a semicolon. Another mistake is to introduce a list, as in this sentence. The company produces automotive parts, farm equipment, and landscaping tools. In this case, we want to use a colon, not a semicolon, to make this sentence correct. And one more way that semicolons are used incorrectly are between independent clauses joined by and, but, or, nor, for, so, or yet. We have already talked about this at the beginning of this video. The company produces products for the U.S. market, but it wants to reach into other markets as well. Here we should not use a semicolon, but a comma. Let's practice. Here are a few sentences that you can practice deciding whether you should use a semicolon or a comma. Does this sentence need a comma or a semicolon? This sentence has two complete sentences that could be connected with a semicolon. Try this one. The phrase at the end of the sentence, unless he's too tired after working, is not a complete sentence, so we cannot use a semicolon here. How about this one? This sentence has the word but, which means we can only use a comma here. And one more. This time we can use a semicolon because we have two complete sentences that are related to each other. How did you do? Semicolons are very useful when used correctly and will improve your writing level, so be sure to try using them. Happy writing! And be sure to check out my workbooks that are designed to be used along with these videos.